Good afternoon, viewers of the RC Universe, and welcome to RC Heli Check UK, and what is going to be part 2 of the BAL 230 build. If you recall, yesterday or in the previous video, we had got the mechanics built on the helicopter and got it all sorted out and ready to fly, but we hit an issue where we basically had no Jesus bolts to hold this on. I've got those Jesus bolts now in a spare shaft here, so we are going to proceed with fixing that, and then hopefully we'll be able to test this helicopter and get it airborne. But the weather is crap here today. We have got strong winds and driving rain as per usual, so whether or not I'll get to actually test this I do not know, but I would like to get it done and flown before I put it into the fuselage. So let's get the Jesus bolt sorted out, get this head back in place and put the blades on, and then we'll see if we get a bit of a let up in the rain where we can actually go and test fly this outside. Well, as we just seen, guys, the rain is pretty relentless at the moment. I did just check the rain radar, and it looks like there is a slight possibility that we are going to get a bit of a break in it. So we'll just have to try and crack on and get this done as quickly as possible. Then hopefully we'll be able to have a bit of a let up, like I say, in the rain, where we can actually go and fly these mechanics and see how it comes on. This DFC head is held on by 3 bolts. You have the one main bolt going through the shaft, which is held on with a Loctite nut, and that is tapping on its tail. Move, thank you. And then we've got 2 M4 by 12 which actually screw into the top of the shaft. They're not screwing into this bit, they're actually screwing into a shaft. There's a thread on the shaft, and these screw into those, and I have just forgotten to put the thread lock on because I'm an idiot. Just get that. So yeah, that's pretty much the situation at the moment with the rain. Whether or not we get to test this, I think we will. We may have to wait for a little bit, but I think we'll be able to get out there and get these things tested, check for the tracking, make sure the tracking's okay, that kind of stuff. But we'll just have to wait and see. Right, so using blue thread lock on this, not a permanent thread lock. It is just the blue stuff. The permanent is the red, as most of you will know, and this is the blue. Click on the comments below, guys, how you put your thread lock on. Some people put it on the tip of the thread, some people smear it all over. Let me know how you do yours, guys. I'm a smear it on one side person, because when you screw the bolt into the thread, it's going to it's going to spread all over anyway. Let's get that in there. There we go. That's them on. That is our head now firmly fixed. I never like putting this these DFC heads are alright until it comes to putting the Swashplate on, because you got two areas where obviously the bolts go onto the I'll get it out in a minute. There we go. Where these connect to the, let's rotate it around, where these connect to the ball links, because of the actual shape of it, look how much you've got to flex the ball link to get it in. Yeah, so the better option on something like that is to actually remove the ball link, wrong size, remove the ball link completely, Don't forget to thread lock it after. And then literally try and snap the ball link in to the actual, this is the hard part, this is the awkward bit. Trying to get this onto here is a nightmare. See if I can grasp it in. There we go. And then clean that thread off. I usually use an alcohol wipe, which I have in here. Oops. This is 70% alcohol in on these little cloths, and they're brilliant for getting off old thread lock. There you go, all gone. And then just put a jab of a lucky thread on there, and then come back down. Yeah. Nope, you don't want to know. See, look at that. That is really tight, trying to get that on there. Look at that. You've literally got to pull it to get it in place. Bear with me a second, guys. I'm doing something wrong here. Well, I found out what the issue is, or was. That. Look at the size of that. Can you see that? See if I can get it close enough. That was what was on the Swashplate. That is what is supposed to be on the Swashplate. Look at the difference. How the hell that happened, I do not know. But that one, that is the wrong one. That's the right size that needs to go on there. No wonder I couldn't get it on. It was like tight. It was too tight. That's what she said. Right, now that blunderous error has been spotted, let's get back to what we was doing. A little drop of thread lock on there. Now this should, in theory, snap straight on. I just hope that, I don't get how I was able to get all the head and everything all done without spotting that previous. It's just weird. But we don't get no how. Let's just see if it, oh, that's gone on. I just hope it hasn't affected the Swashplate and the pitch gauge settings. I might have to check the pitch again to see if it's out. I can't see it being that much different. I mean, that's yeah, I mean, it was out quite a lot. We'll see. Right, so that's that back on. That's that all connected. It's still raining, but it does sound like it's slowing down. I'm going to try and figure out if I can put some kind of tray on the bottom here, because I'm going to have the batteries either side. Obviously I'm not going to use the centre tray like is designed on this, because it's going in that fuselage. I need to go on either side, so I'm just going to put a temporary tray across here with a bit of a piece of plywood that I zip tie in, just to hold the batteries on and get the batteries to sit there either side, like I'm going to have in the in the actual fuselage, and we'll go from there. Right, there we go. Simple but effective. That is firmly fixed on there. It's just temporary. It is literally so I can have the batteries here and then basically fly it. Now the good thing is, well, I'll say a good thing, I put this length of strip of Valkyrie across here because I can then get the centre of gravity pretty much cock on. If I put the batteries in the middle of get out there, put the batteries in the middle like so. Some people will question this when I do this because they go, that's not the right way. But if I hold the helicopter up there, well, there we go, that is sitting, if you can see, perfect. and it is heavy. So for me, that is a good enough centre of gravity. I always hold it by the main shaft, that's what she said, above the main get it out, Rob. The main rotor mast, hold it in the centre there. If it's level, it's going to go. It's always worked. So let's right, so let me just move the camera back a bit. Hang on a sec, guys. Okay, let's put the blades on. These sub blades are pretty damn good, to be fair. They're quite heavy. I tend to favour heavier blades on my Scout helicopters. It just makes them more stable, really. I mean, 3D guys would be like, oh no, lighter blades. I'm not flying 3D, I'm flying Scout. So I try using a heavier blade if I've got any available. And as it stands, at the moment, all I've got are these sub blades, which have been just borrowed temporarily off my Spectre 700, because after I crashed the Spectre a couple of months ago, I had some Azure 700s on there and it basically obliterated them, and the only spare set of blades that I'd got for use on there were these sub blades. But I noticed when I put them on and flew the helicopter after I repaired it, how much more stable it was. And the only thing I can put it down to is that they're a heavier blade. The Azure blades, they're good blades, don't get me wrong. In fact, they're actually awesome blades. Everybody has their own preferences, but there's a lot of people I know that use the Azure blades, especially up here. And they are a good blade. But if you want a heavier blade, these sub TBs, TB 700s, they're actually quite heavy. So it will definitely help with the performance of the helicopter. Oh, that's loose. Don't want it that loose. That gone in the, is that gone in the hole? She said. Let's try. I don't know how many of you have your blades tight. There's always a difference of opinion when it comes to blade tension. Some people say, oh, you should be able to tip the helicopter on its side and the blades just fall slowly. Other people are like, no, keep them stiff, because that way it reduces lag on the blades. Lag increases vibration. So I actually have mine quite stiff, she said, and I think basically after following RC Helicopter Richard, who's another member of this club here that flies Smackdown 3D as I call it, he has his blades quite stiff. He doesn't have any issues, do you know what I mean? So why should I? So I have mine actually quite stiff, as equal as possible, but then, you know, that's it really. So look, that's ready to go. Yeah, that's ready to test. I'll get the tracking done first. I think it stopped raining, it's just a bit windy, but I'll run it up on the ground and just see what the tracking's like first, and then if I can get it up, she said, I'll take it out onto our little noise testing area and just see if I can give it a test of her. Right, let's have a look. Right, we've had a let up in the rain, but it's still windy as buggery. But I'm going to see if we can just try and get this up in the air. I've got a feeling I'm going to need to do some more adjustments, and I might not be able to get a true reading, but we'll give it a shot and see what happens. I think I'm going to need to program the electronic speed controller, because I think it's going to kick out, because I don't think we've got a soft startup on this. try. Not too bad. Bit of a wobble. Okay. Check the rudder. It's going the right way. Hold mode is on. Head and hold lock, headlock, whatever you want to call it. Right, bloody rain. Starting to rain again. Whoa. Come back. Whoop, whoop. See how the tail's just twisted on me? Bugger. Should have put a tail guide on really. And the head speed is also not high enough. I'm going to need to increase that head speed, I think. God, this wind's bad. Right, I think I've fixed what the issue was. Apart from the head speed being too low, I'd also got a little bit of, the swash plate wasn't dead central. It looked like there was a little bit of forward tilt on the swash plate, so I've adjusted that. And obviously when I tapped the tail rotor on the ground, it twisted the tail rotor around because numbnuts here didn't tighten up the screw that holds the tail rotor in place. So I've done that now, but I've also increased my head speeds. I was running basically at 60%, and then 70 and 80 and 75. I've now gone 70, 75 and 80. So hopefully with a higher head speed it will be a little bit more responsive, shall we say. But let's go and try it. Right, let's try again. It stopped raining, but it is really blowing a wind up here at the moment. It's about 25, gusting 25 mile an hour, as you can probably hear on the mic. But let's try that again and see what happens. Oh, for some reason we're not starting up. That's because I haven't plugged the batteries in. It'd help if you had the batteries plugged in, wouldn't it? Oh dear. Right. Yes, there you go. Batteries help, don't they? Oh dear, dear. Okay, right. Let's try again. God, it's bloody windy. There's a little bit of a kick out on that tail. That's better. Bit twitchy, but that's the wind. It is really windy. Tracking seems to be alright on it as well. That is really windy. Let's try going up one. %. Not a lot of difference really. Made it a little bit more stable. Tracking's good. Tiny little bit of a tail wag, you see it? just bobbing a little bit. It could be the wind, but that seems to be alright. So that's 75% head speed. There's that waggle. I've got a bit of a tail wag there. I think the head speed's still a little bit too low. That's what normally happens, isn't it? Oh dear, oh dear. The wind's playing havoc. Another 5%. It's gonna idle up 2 now, so that's 80% flat line. Could be the gyro again. Got plenty of power on HS. Too windy for this. It is really gusting. Hold on. Too windy. Okay. So obviously I've got to run it around about 80% head speed. It's a lot more stable now. I've moved the Swashplate forward, back slightly, because like I say, it was too far forward. But yeah, it's just too windy, but it seems to be okay. I think we'll be all right with that. I'd probably be better off trying it on a calmer day, but the weather conditions aren't supposed to be settling down for a while, so who knows. Anyway, let's go back into the workshop. Okay, so I think we've got that figured out. Yeah, it's just a little bit too windy out there. Like I say, it's gusting about 30 mile an hour out there, but the controls seem okay. I've got 25% expo in the add-ons on the elevator, 30% expo in the rudder. I think I've got to tweak the gain on the tail rotor a little bit, but the head speed, like I say, I was at idle up 80%, and that seemed to stabilise a little bit more. So we've got a little bit of a tail waggle, which normally can be down to like head speed, but after landing and like checking the batteries, I think it was 60% I got in both batteries. So that weren't too bad. There's no heat in them. The motor was cool, the electronic speed controller was cold, the batteries had got no heat in them either, but I'm guessing that's down to it being cold. So I think we can say that that's going to be good to go. I think that's going to be good to go. So it's basically now time to strip it all down and see if we can get it mounted in that fuselage, and then go out and try it again. There's no reason why it shouldn't fly with the fuselage wrapped around it, but it would just be nice to check and see like before I start going into the rigmarole of like doing all the bits and pieces that need doing to it, and there is quite a lot. So right, I'll start getting this stripped down, and I'll come back to you guys in a bit. Okay, just a short one this time, guys. It's more of a follow-on from yesterday's video, because we wasn't able to get the thing test flying because of me not having the bolt to secure the main rotor head on. So it's more of a follow-on from there, so that's why it's a little bit of a short video. We've proven that it can fly. The next thing that we're going to be looking at now is fitting the mechanics into the fuselage, and then we'll test fly it in the fuselage, make sure everything's okay, everything fits fine, there's no issues there, and then once that's done, it'll be a case of removing the mechanics again and then going into more detail on the fuselage. So you'll have to bear with me on this one, guys. If you're waiting to see other products that I've been doing, like the Long Ranger and the Harrier and whatnot, I'm trying to mix match, you know, what I do. I don't want to continuously do the same thing all the time until it is finished. So I will have more content on the Harrier soon. I will also have more content on the Long Ranger. You're not missing anything from any of those. I've not done anything and not recorded it, so you will not be missing anything on those videos. If you are waiting for things like that to be shown, or the restoration of the canopy as well, and the Spectre that I'm doing, I haven't forgot about any of these. I'm just trying to bring as much different content onto the channel as much as I can, and like I say, this has been the latest thing to add. So yeah, stick with it, guys. Thanks for watching. Do the usual, hit the like and subscribe button, and we'll see you soon with some more content. Take it easy, guys.